Israeli settlers perform rituals at Al-Aqsa Mosque compound under protection from armed forces. Israeli opposition leader launches petition to pressure Netanyahu's government for inquiry into October 7, 2023 attacks. Lebanese army deploys in Rab al-Thalathin, Tallusa and Bani Hayyan after Israeli withdrawal. It's 8 p.m. Cairo local time, and you're now watching QNews. And we begin today's bulletin with the latest developments in Gaza. Local organizations monitoring Israel's detention of Palestinian prisoners reported that Israeli forces arrested approximately 580 Palestinians in the occupied West Bank during January. The highest number of arrests occurred in Jenin and its refugee camp, which have been under heavy Israeli military siege for 21 days. In a statement, the group said that at least 60 children and 17 women were among those detained. Additionally, hundreds more were subjected to field interrogations by Israeli soldiers. Israeli settlers have performed rituals at Al-Aqsa Mosque compound under protection from armed forces. Footage posted by local Palestinian platforms on social media showed settlers present at the site. Israeli media reported that dozens of settlers, including students from religious schools, stormed Al-Aqsa Mosque to commemorate a soldier killed in Gaza. The UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees has announced that in the 2 weeks following the Gaza ceasefire, it provided food aid to 1.2 million people in collaboration with the World Food Programme. UNRWA Chief Philip Lazzarini stated that the organization has opened 10 new shelters to support those returning to northern Gaza, distributing tents, blankets, plastic sheeting and warm clothing as storms and heavy rain persist. The agency, which Israel seeks to dismantle, has also repaired water wells, provided water and waste disposal services for nearly 500,000 people in and around its shelters, and supplied medical provisions to patients in its clinics. The UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, UNRWA, has reported that many families in the Gaza Strip remain exposed to harsh winter conditions without adequate shelter. In Deir el-Balah in central Gaza and in the north, an area besieged by the Israeli military for months, many residents are still living in tents and makeshift shelters that offer little to no protection from the cold. A spokesperson for UNICEF, Tess Ingram, has said that families in the north of Gaza have been shocked at the scale of destruction in the area. Ingram said in a video posted in X that the scale of destruction is especially traumatic for children who have already suffered so much. She added that they are returning to communities without water, health care, and other basic necessities needed to survive. Israeli media has reported that Qatar sent messages to both Israel and the United States warning that Israel's actions regarding the second phase of the deal, as well as provocative remarks by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, are jeopardizing the first phase. Israeli media stated that negotiations for the second phase of the ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas have not yet begun, with internal Israeli discussions and talks between Hamas and mediators ongoing. U.S. President Donald Trump has stated that under his plan for the United States to take control of Gaza, Palestinians would have no right to return to the territory. During an interview, Trump stated that safe communities would be built a little away from where they are, away from all this danger, according to him. He added that in the meantime, he would own this and referred to it as a real estate development for the future, calling it a beautiful piece of land.
I mean, you can't live in those buildings right now. They're buying and owning Gaza. As far as us rebuilding...
U.S. President Donald Trump has stated that his commitment to gaining control over Gaza, suggesting that parts of the region could be rebuilt with the support of other Middle Eastern states. He described Gaza as a demolition site, claiming that there is nothing left to return to and that the remaining structures would also be torn down. Trump also indicated that he is open to accepting some Palestinian refugees into the United States, but emphasized that each case would be considered individually.
Everything's demolished. I mean, you can't live in those buildings right now. They're very unsafe.
Israeli government spokesman David Mencer has announced that Phase 2 discussions on a permanent ceasefire have begun in coordination with U.S. officials. Mencer stated that Israel's ultimate goal is a permanent ceasefire, but only under the conditions that Hamas is no longer in power, and Gaza is both demilitarized and de-radicalized. Regarding the Israeli military operation in the northern West Bank, he emphasized that Israel remains firm in ensuring there will be no safe haven for terrorists. Egypt has strongly condemned Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's recent remarks in a U.S. media interview, calling them misleading and a misrepresentation of Egypt's humanitarian efforts in Gaza. In a statement, the Egyptian Foreign Ministry reaffirmed its commitment to aiding Palestinians, highlighting the delivery of over 5,000 relief trucks and ongoing support for the injured. Egypt also criticized Israel's continued violations against civilians and infrastructure, firmly rejecting any suggestions of displacing Palestinians to neighboring countries. Cairo reiterated its unwavering support for a two-state solution, emphasizing that East Jerusalem must remain the capital of a future Palestinian state. Lebanon has strongly condemned Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's remarks suggesting the establishment of a Palestinian state on Saudi land. In an official statement, the Lebanese Foreign Ministry firmly rejected the proposal and reaffirmed its support for Saudi Arabia in safeguarding its sovereignty and security. Lebanon also dismissed any attempts to displace Palestinians, particularly to its own territory, and called for a just and comprehensive solution based on a two-state framework. The ministry emphasized that any resolution must align with international law and the 2002 Beirut Arab Summit initiative.